Howdy, I'm Matt, and in this video we are going to be discussing the topic of biased reviews. So to set the tone, you may have been and recently spotted a whole host of very positively biased reviews for not a very good model. And I would like to share with you and give you an insight to why this may have happened, okay? So we are going to be talking some numbers, but this video really is to give you an insight. And from the very beginning, I want to make this very, very clear. And I don't even need to make this clear for you because it should be blatantly obvious from the last 1,000 videos is that I'm not biased in any shape or form, and I'm very much sat on your side of the table, and this is why I'm bringing it up as a topic, because when I'm sat on your side of the table as a fellow RC pilot, these things just don't sit right. And anyway, so let's get into the topic. Now, you'll notice here in the background, we've got a thread which I put up in the Facebook group a couple of days ago. What's the date today? About 3 or 4 days ago. And it's about a collection of BS reviews which we had on the Dart XL Extreme. Because that model is fundamentally flawed. And I did a separate video on this, it's been neutered. You can only fly that model at 1 speed. There's so much reflex in it, and there's a whole host of other issues which that model has, and they all got polished and rolled in glitter in pretty much every other video which I've seen, and probably you've seen as well. Now, this is where I'd like to show an insight with you, and this is where we're going to take a look at some YouTube analytics. Now, this is my revenue, which I can share with you for YouTube for the month of December. Now, you'll notice that we have your estimated revenue, $120, okay, which is about £95 in pre-Brexit UK pesos, okay. So 95 quid was generated by advert revenue for the videos in which I created on YouTube in the last month, okay, or in December. Now, the thing is that what's been happening is that with YouTube revenue, since we've had like multiple, not just one, multiple ad apocalypses, is that the revenue which can be generated by a YouTube creator via adverts has just gone straight off the cliff. This is why many of your most favorite YouTube creators on YouTube are seeking other means. Now, one of those other means is affiliate marketing, and we'll get to that topic just in a moment, but I need to set the tone here or share with you why this would be very tempting to bias a review. So I'm just using this here as a set of notes. Now, if we consider, I was not sent as a freebie. I bought the Dart XL for $170, which arrived in December. So it doesn't take a mathematical genius to work out that I am in negative equity. Okay, I have spent more than what I have earned as far as ad revenue goes to keep this channel as a topic to continue. Okay, now ad revenue has gone straight off a cliff. So not only am I out of pocket as far as ad revenue goes to products bought, but also you must factor in, okay, is that we've moved to 4K. So with 4K, it's basically a minimum of 4 times the file size, and we're not including editing time and the time which it takes to upload. So if you think about that business as usual video which we had a few days ago, is that video was 76 gigabytes. It took 15 hours to upload. It took well over an hour to render, and because the video was an hour long, that took me about 3 hours to edit it as well, and that's the basic rule of thumb. Whatever the length of the edited video is that it takes 3 times as long to actually edit that video and make sure it's correct all the way through. And heck, you may have noticed 1 or 2 small mistakes which went through the crack through the sieve in the business as usual video. So yeah, I'm out of time and I'm out of money. Okay, when it comes to ad revenue to items in, and that wasn't even including the time which it takes to edit it. Okay, so to summarize where we are so far, there is sweet FA in Google advertising. Okay, now there is obviously an exception to the rule there, which is that if you have like 100,000 subscribers and you get many views, which I don't have either, then you can potentially make good money from YouTube videos. But you've got to have the views there so the advert switch can be served. And that's not something which I have. I don't have a high number of subscribers. I don't have a high number of views. Okay, so it's chicken and egg kind of scenario here. Now, this is where we need to change our topic to affiliate marketing. So I've set the tone very clearly here, is that there's really no money in advertising on YouTube unless you have very high numbers, okay? Now, let's flip the other side of the coin, which is into affiliate marketing. So let's say, for example, that I post a link to Banggood, okay, and you go on and purchase an item from Banggood using that link, is that I will gain, and I say a small commission on each sale, and of course those rack up over the period of a month or a year, for example. And it's a very nice way of working because there's no apparent cost to you because Banggood have factored that in to their actual sale price. And of course this is exactly the same for every other website out there which runs an affiliate campaign or system, such as Amazon or eBay or GearBest or I'm gonna say HobbyKing, but the person whoever created that affiliate scheme at HobbyKing needs to be promoted because it's that good. Anyway, moving on. So just be aware, I'm not going to share my revenue from Banggood because it's complicated because of another project which I have as well. Now, I would say that for several larger YouTube channels is that they have to be, okay, and I mean genuinely mean this, they have to be, knowing what I now know now, okay, thinking that I'm 2 years and a bit in now, is that they have to be withdrawing at least 5,000 USD per month from their Banggood accounts, okay? Now, frankly speaking, some of the bigger review channels, if they're not pulling out double that, then I am frankly disappointed in them in what they've been doing. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're doing that or more, which, let's be honest here, they're frankly entitled to. They've been and put their time, effort and energy in, and if that helps them support their channel with everything like buying products, assuming that they buy, because no, actually most people don't buy, they get given, and the time which it takes to plan, edit, render and then upload and interact with their community should never be undervalued, okay? So they're probably well worth it, but keep that in the back of your mind. Now, if we think about this for a few moments, is that we now know that YouTube advert revenue is diabolical and affiliate revenue is a order of magnitude in percent much more attractive. So that would give you an idea of why affiliate marketing and why giving out a positive review on a product would be very interesting to a YouTube creator. And this is one of the issues which we have as RC pilots, is that very recently, literally in the last 3 weeks, we have seen a whole host of BS reviews. Where's my comment which I'm looking in here? Where's the phrase which I'm looking for there? Absolutely outstanding. That's what the Dart XL Extreme was labelled, and it was anything but absolutely outstanding. Now, why would somebody call the Dart XL or a model absolutely outstanding? I have to say there has to be a bias here in there somewhere, and unfortunately, because it's a high ticket item, remember affiliate revenue is a small percentage, so if we're only doing a review on a little RMA connector, for example, which is like $1, then you're talking like a cent or two. But if we're talking $170, a $200 model, that is very attractive for someone to gain a bias upon. Now, I want to flip the coin here, is that if you think about myself, for example, is that I paid for the model for $170. I was out of pocket for the revenue for that month. And if you compound that, then I went on and gave that model a bad review, is that I have not only shot myself in one foot, I've shot myself in the other foot because, apologies, a little pop-up window came there in the background, is You got to understand the situation. I've shot myself in one foot because I won't get the views because I've not said it's absolutely outstanding, and I've shot myself in the other foot and because I won't get the number of views on the product, so you won't be clicking through and buying a product because I told you not to because it isn't very good. So that's a very awkward position to be in as a YouTube creator, because that's not a self-sustaining business model at all. So yeah, I do YouTube. I'm going to get to my point here. I do YouTube because I like to do it, okay? I like to do reviews, whether they are good, bad, or ugly, because there's no transparency here. There's been a blatant... It's got worse, okay, since I started this YouTube channel. One of my original goals was that I did not like the bias which was going on in the RC community, and I'm not going to mention specific YouTube channels, but there is a massive bias in there. How can you do 100 reviews in a row and every single model is brilliant? Okay, that is not the case at all. Think back to the models which we've seen here in the last year. Some of them have been very good. I've got the XUAV Moose, which I've called it, which is the mini goose, mini snow goose, or whatever it's called over there. And it's got a few negatives, but I'm really looking forward to it. I'm sure it's going to be a great model. Okay, so we do have a positive one coming out very shortly, because we have had a run of terrible ones. But it's my point being here, there's a bias out there. We now understand why there would be such a bias, because it's much more lucrative to do a good review compared to a bad review, because if you do a bad review, boom, boom, you knackered yourself, okay? So that's the topic which I wanted to get off my chest, because it's crucial that you think in the back of your mind, okay, does this person have a bias? Okay, have they been ultra clear about the bias? Have they told you, as I'm sure many of you heard me mention over 1,000 times, I bought this money for my own abuses out of my own pocket. It was not a freebie sent to me for review. And unfortunately, if you are sent products for review as freebies, you're never really gonna be that discourteous to them, because in fear that you won't get anything in the future. And I perfectly understand that, okay? There's Sir Bruce, I'm sure you're aware, is the FRS guy, just refused to talk to him for years, almost, because of the bad review which they gave on the Horus. He wasn't impressed with it at all. And let's be frank here, the Horus is a very specialist device, and why the heck would you buy one when the Tyrannus is really good? And if you're on the budget, the QX series is absolutely fantastic for those people on a budget. Don't kind of get it, but I understand Bruce's position, and I also understand FR Sky's position as well. Someone said their flagship product is not very good. Of course they're going to be upset, okay? As professional as they might be, they're not going to like it, and that's the thing. There are biases out there, and I don't want to carry on about this topic too much, because I've been chatting, I've just seen it 15 minutes, okay? That's far too much for this topic. I just want you to be fully aware that when you're watching videos on YouTube, think to yourself, is this person biased, and how could they be biased, and is it ultra clear to you where they got the products from and how that transaction went on, okay? I'm actually going to chuck a little wild card at you. So if you look up perhaps like Linus Tech Tips, for example, on YouTube, I hate the advertising which the guy does, but it's absolutely blatant and it's baked into the video. It's a really, really good example of how to do advertising for products on YouTube, okay? Which is dissimilar to the products, and Linus will pick fun at big companies like Apple and Microsoft and be in absolutely no fear of them, because he's given an objective review on what's been going on. He probably bought the products himself for the vast majority of the items anyway, except for pre-production items. And the advert and the free side is just another part, okay? So I've deviated away from the topic there. Let me rein ourselves back. In short, let me summarize here. Advert revenue on YouTube is minuscule unless you're a very big YouTube channel with a high number of subscribers, thus a high number of views, which I have neither. The affiliate side is very, very lucrative. It is an order of magnitude more lucrative compared to YouTube advertising. Okay, like I said, several of the RC channels should be pulling at least 5,000 USD per month from Banggood as one affiliate minimum per month. Okay, and some of them, if they weren't pulling double that, I would be personally, frankly, disappointed. Okay, so keep that in the back of your mind. There is a bias out there, and if you want proof that there's a bias out there, get onto YouTube and type in Dart XL Extreme Review. Okay, I've now watched several of those reviews and they are absolutely cringeworthy. Okay, so New Year's resolution, which was my New Year's resolution 2 and a bit years ago, I will never accept a model as a freebie. Okay, I will continue to buy models for my own abuses, and I will abuse them, as you might have seen in the Dart XL video. And I will continue to give reviews from your side of the table. Okay, this is the point which we're taking, is that we'll buy it, we'll see if it's any good or not. And if we upset a few people along the way, well, that's their problem, not our problem, because we need to know this as RC pilots. Is the model any good? And unfortunately, in the current version of the Dart XL, it's not any good. So you make your own decisions. With that said, I sincerely hope this video has been informative to you. It's opened to your eyes to some of the things which have been going on very recently, and I'm frankly disappointed that this kind of material has continued, and it's really up to you whether you accept that kind of material. I'm not willing to do it, but that's my personal opinion. Are you? It's up to you, in short. So with that said, for myself, Matt, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. A very happy new year to 2019 to you, and look out for some more foam abuse very shortly. So for myself, Matt, as always, cheerios!